Hello everyone, this is Supersnoopy here, back with another Nostalgia Republic video. Today I have for you guys a Nostalgia Republic guide video. In today's guide video, I'm just going to be going over the level 65 operation gearing. So in this video, I'm just going to be going over gearing at level 65 when it comes down to the operations. I'm just going to be kind of going over the ways you can get 220, 224, and of course the 216 gear. I just want to go over this since I feel like it is important to just let people know exactly how you can just start gearing up in Knights of the Fallen Empire, the expansion for the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Nostalgia Republic guide video. As always, if you guys enjoyed these videos, then make sure to leave a like. And if you guys want some nice gaming glasses, then check the link down below. No scope gaming glasses. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the guide. Alrighty guys, so let's get into the guide right now. So as you know, in Star Wars: The Old Republic, you can complete operations and get some endgame gear that can become a lot more powerful than the gear you get through just by simply completing Knights of the Fallen Empire or some quests that you manage to do throughout your travels in the game. Now the first thing I'm going to be going over here is the vendors, the comm vendors, and just how you get the comms, and I'm just going to go over the operation gear vendors. I'm just going to be going over the way you can get all the different, pieces of gear. Now the first thing, of course, is the comm vendors. Now the way you get comms is you just can complete flashpoints, the daily hard mode flashpoints. You can complete the story mode operations in the group finder. You can complete just simple missions in different planets to get daily ones or the green ones. Yeah, there's many ways to actually get this stuff. So yeah, as you can tell right here, we just have a bunch of different stuff right here. But I mean, personally, this is just the way you get some stuff. You just gotta complete missions, and they can get some of the basic gear. Now, this gear isn't optimized. It's just usually high endurance and then, high mastery. But all the secondary stats are extremely low, and a lot of people don't like that, so they just decide to optimize it and get the operations gear, as that usually is the better gear. So let's leave. There we go. And yeah, I mean, that's just the way you do it. You just gotta go ahead, and what a lot of people like to do is they like to complete the missions if they don't do operations and they just have downtime. They complete specific missions that allow you to get these different comms, and they just get that specific gear while they're just trying to get some operation gear. Now, once again, you can go to priority missions, and you can see some of the ways you can get some of these different comms, or these crystals, that is. So we have all those different ways. So that's just the simple way to get the comms gear. It's usually unoptimized, like I said, but it still is, of course, the I guess a pretty decent gear of 216, 220, and all that stuff. But yeah, it isn't the best gear that you can possibly get, but it's still something that's extremely good when you're just trying to gear up and get a bunch of different things. Now, if you want to get 216 pieces of gear with the set bonus, then what I recommend doing is completing story mode operations. So story mode operations are, of course, the operations that are usually by far the easiest. So you can just click the weekly, and you can see how it says, story mode item rating 208 is the recommended gear. Now, personally myself, I've seen that, the item rating, the recommended gear usually isn't like too much of a factor. Personally, just by doing hard mode, I don't believe the times I've done hard mode, I haven't had full 220. I've had mostly 216. That's about it. But yeah, I mean, that's a good way to start in hard mode, is just have some 216 and then start to build up on the 220 and get some comms gear while you're waiting just to get some of the better gear for the operations. So like I said, I mean, you just have the story mode, which is extremely easy. Usually the enrage on everything is extremely low, so you don't have to really worry too much about failing in story mode. That's the one good thing that's about story mode in this game, is the story mode is very forgiving, so you can mess up tons of times, and you don't really have to worry about what happens. Now, personally, what a lot of people like to do is they like to do EV and KP. So if you're new to operations, I would highly recommend doing those, as they're extremely simple. It just kind of gets you, a feel of how you can just start operations in this game. And also, the hard mode is extremely easy. There isn't a nightmare mode in EV or KP. I don't know why it still says that. But they're really easy, story mode and hard mode. So if you just want to get a feel and get some decent 220 gear and 216, then I would recommend those. But yeah, people like to do the different operations in the game as well, because they do reward different set bonus pieces. As a lot of people don't know, is that they aren't just completely given, as in if you just go through EV, you aren't going to get every single set bonus piece directly through EV. It's not like it's completely random. So they do have different set bonuses, or the different pieces in the operation, so you just got to kind of figure out those, or just look somewhere else just to figure out the ways I don't have a table currently on me, but I do believe that Dolphy.net does actually have a guide on there, or actually has a page. I will try and link that. That just gives the loot table for every single operation, so that's extremely helpful when it comes down to just trying to figure out exactly what you need to do and what you need to obtain throughout all the different stuff when you're completing operations. Now, once you complete an operation or do something along the lines of that, you will likely get an unassembled token. Now, say I get an unassembled token, I'm going to go to the vendor on the fleet right here. Just entirely depends on your class. You just click it. They'll just talk for a bit like this. And then you can just look through the stuff. So we just have the 216 gear right here. And then you can just scroll down, and then you have the XR stuff that is, the 220. And a lot of people, like I said, do want the 220 since that's the best stuff you can get. So we do have the ultimate as well, the 224. So I forgot about that, is that you also have the 220 and then the 224. But every week they do have a assigned hard mode operation that can be found on the Gav Daragon on the Republic fleet. And on the opposite fleet for the Imperial side, you can just go onto the ship that has all the operations, and then there will be a little holo terminal that just kind of shows off which operation is currently the hard mode one that is assigned. And with that, you have a chance of getting a 224 gear in all the bosses and a guaranteed 224 drop in the last boss. And then you also have guaranteed 220 pieces in every single boss. So if you're just trying to get 220 gear and 224 just every now and then, just here and there, then that's a really good way to get it. And then with the next patch, or with Chapter 10, you'll be able to get complete 224 gear just by completing Nightmare Mode operations. So once people start getting all the 220 gear, a lot of people, I assume, will likely just keep on going to the Nightmare operations to just get stacked and get all the 224 gear, so it can be completely raid ready and can just take out almost anything in the game while working as a group. So that's the basic standards when it comes down to getting operation gear in the game. It's really simple. A lot of people just get confused from time to time. I just felt like it would be really good to release this little guide. More or less, it's just me talking about, how you can get some of the comms gear and how you can get some of the operation gear. Because I know that a lot of people don't exactly, understand the way that the the operations themselves, how they work. And I just feel like it's important just to kind of go over this, since when people do get into the game, or they are returning to the game, or something along the lines of that, they likely want to understand and know what you have to do to complete all this stuff and get the gear that everyone is trying to get to, of course, get stacked and to finish up everything they possibly can in the game. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little Star Wars Republic guide video. Just me going over the ways to get the operation gear and or just the level 65 operation gearing. As always, if you guys enjoyed these videos, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.